We're going to get ready to rock and roll here. You know, progress has to go on. We're no longer in the horse and buggy age. Well, the era of fossil fuels is coming to a close. The days are numbered that we're going to be dependent upon fossil fuel.
The world needs to be running without fossil fuels in 80 years. Yet, in places like Butler, Pennsylvania, signs of change are hard to find. Natural gas companies have drilled here over 350 new shale gas wells since the shale gas boom began in the area. Some locals have visions for a different kind of a future.
This whole conversation came about and this idea came about because one of the people in our informal conversations said, but we need this natural gas, don't we? We thought, that's a question that we need to answer. So we decided as a group to put on a fossil-free energy fair to answer that question, to find out, do we really need this natural gas? Or are there other sources of energy available?
I flew over the Atlantic to the UK to find out how communities like Butler are handling the situation there. But first, I stopped to visit an American lawyer who had just written a report on community power.
Well, community power, it's really about participation and, more importantly, ownership. It's a change in the way we think of our energy system. Before it was centralized and dominated by large players, but now with the decentralized renewables, it opens up people's potential and ability to actually participate.
Balcombe, a village with about 2,000 people, less than an hour south of London, is a poster child for community power.
We're standing outside the entrance of Quadrilla's Balcombe well, where the rig was last summer, and this was where they were going to explore for gas and oil, shale gas and oil. Repower Balcombe project was a sign of hope and something positive that came out of the distress caused by last summer's oil invasion by Quadrilla.
We said, no, this is not a process you should be following. You shouldn't be following, looking for yet more and more fossil fuels in an even more dangerous and harmful way. You should be pursuing the path of renewable energy. It's got to come to that somehow.
The proposal is that we will start by getting enough space to install solar to give back enough electricity to run initially 10% of the village electricity needs, and following that to aim over a period of a few years up to 100%.
So the finances for community energy are always a challenge. In the UK we have a policy called the feed-in tariff, which pays anyone who's generating renewable energy for each kilowatt hour that they generate. What that allows projects like this to do is to provide a return to investors over 20 years. So it's supporting renewable energy at its early stages.
To start with, the first investment that we are hoping to make It has been funded by us, by the small group of people who meet and who come to the committee meetings.
We're putting in £1,500. I'm not 100% sure how quickly we start getting paid, but certainly there will be an annual return of 5% which goes to each of the shareholders. It is certainly a better place at the moment than putting your money in a bank.
They're discussing the sites where they can actually put the solar panels. There's lots of potential places around the village.
The sun is coming from this direction? No, it's coming from this direction.
The sun is, well, I guess the sun's coming from over here at the moment. That is,
So this is going to shade it a bit?
Yeah, the cars are from the north of the building.
So if you have individuals putting solar panels on their roof, they tend to be the people that can actually afford to do it. They're the people that have the money. What's great about these sorts of projects is that they are actually putting their revenue back into the community to help with energy efficiency, to help with community projects, that kind of thing. So actually it's taking the feed-in tariff, the money that we spend to support solar power, and actually putting it back into things that make life better for everyone.
This is the village primary school. This is the primary school where the fracking trucks went past day in, day out last summer. And it's going to be the first public building within the village to actually get solar panels from the community energy group, Repower Balcombe. This is Grange Farm. This is the farm shop, and the cow sheds behind this building is where we're going to be putting up the panels.
How much electricity are they going to provide?
Just under 18 kilowatts. Not a huge site, but it is a beginning.
When we get onto big roofs, factories, warehouses, or in fields where you can put a lot of PV cells, that will need more money. They were involved with had accepted money from Quadrilla.
Where does that money come from?
We put out a share offer, and we hope that people will subscribe and become shareholders in the cooperative.
Back in Butler, people keep protesting against fracking. I want to find out if community energy projects like Repower Balcombe are possible in Pennsylvania.
We don't have quite the same system here in Pennsylvania, so the economics are probably not as great as an investment. But yes, the answer is yes, it's definitely possible here. We do need to be talking to our legislatures. This is how policies change, because people want these things, and there is a sea change around energy now for clean energy.
Even in good regulatory environments, it's still no cakewalk to realize these projects, to get planning permission, to get permission to connect to the grid. These can take, several years. So it takes persistence, and it takes willpower from these community groups. So I would say that the people are really the driving force.
Today, we need natural gas, but do we need that tomorrow or 10 years from now? No, the answer is no, it's not. We don't need and we don't have to have that, but there's a transition that needs to take place. So that transition can happen slowly or it can happen quickly, and that depends on the appetite of our leaders, but also of the people demanding that we make that change.
We need to rise up. We need to rise up. We need to open up our eyes and do it now, now, now. We need to build a better future, and we need to start right now.
It's great to feel that we're just a little part of a large wave of people who are going towards a future which will be cleaner, more sustainable, and I think better for everyone.